Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. I have a little bit of a different video today, but it's a fun one. I wanted to get a little bit more into the educational side of things and give a bit of an insight into my editing process and to just kind of have a fun, light-hearted video. I was with some friends in Grand Teton National Park a few weeks ago, and our very last day, we had some really bad weather. So we were kind of figuring out what to do. And one of them, I think it was Dave, had suggested that we do this kind of portrait shootout. Between us, we had a lot of cameras and a lot of different camera setups. So we thought it'd be kind of cool to like put our names in a hat and put different camera setups in a hat and then just do this kind of quick fire portrait session in this barn that we were able to go to courtesy of Snake River Ranch. They were kind enough to let us use their famous gray barn, and it was very aesthetic. You should definitely check out Snake River Ranch if you're in the area. They do a lot of events down there, and they're nestled right on the banks of the Snake River, just outside of Grand Teton National Park. So huge thanks to them for letting us use their location for this video. But we just wanted to have a little bit of fun and not make this morning go to waste. All right. Okay, I am photographing Scott, and I'm using the X2D and 55. It's a good combo. Let's see. First time using the 55. All right. Okay. How much time do we have?
You have 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Yeah. Set timer for 5 minutes. All right, let's go. We'll do it. We'll go over here because this is. I already kind of scoped this out down on the right. All right. I'm not a portrait photographer, so you are. So you should know what you need to do. So I'll have you just back here, just kind of get comfortable on that like beam. I don't know, yeah, just kind of relax, like lean into it a little bit, yeah. And I want to use this. What is 55? 3, okay. I'm gonna have you lean on that wall instead. So kind of, yeah, come right here, that's it, yeah. I want that light on your right side. Try that again. We'll put your right leg up against the wall. Yep. Yeah, that's good. Come in tight. Put your leg down. Then I'll have you look at the window again. Yeah. Okay. Now you can come off the wall. Yep, just stand square to me. Maybe fold your arms. We'll do a little kind of a little serious. Oh yeah, this light is so good. All right. That's pretty good. I don't know. I'm gonna come a little closer. I like that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, do that. Try that. Thank you. Okay.
Light should change a lot on my face.
5 minutes. Time.
Time.
Nice. Yeah, we'll see.
Did you make me look good?
I don't know, dude. You look good without me.
It's a lot of work.
I don't know. That one, I really like that one.
Shot.
Yeah,
Stunning.
the light. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good light.
So now we're in my office and we're going to go through how I edited these photos. It was a learning experience for me, but I have set up some ways that streamline my editing process. Now I have my presets that obviously take a ton of the legwork out of editing photos for me. So I just want to take a minute to talk about this video sponsor, which is Logitech, and I have the creative console that I'm going to be talking about in this video. Now I've been using Logitech for years, obviously the MX Master 3, I've got their keyboard as well. You really can't go wrong as a creative with Logitech stuff, and the creative console has really streamlined my editing process because it just creates all these hotkeys in such a fluid and logical way. So this right here is the creative dial pad, and then we have the creative keypad, I think. The dial pad obviously has a dial and a scroll wheel, and then some customizable buttons, and it's just fully customizable. There's a program that allows you to, make keystrokes or use pre-programmed keybinds with specific programs. So as soon as I load up Lightroom, these keypads will change to my preset Lightroom kind of hotkeys, so to speak. And if I tab out of Lightroom and go into DaVinci, then it just changes to my default settings. So I've got my Lightroom, DaVinci, Photoshop, my audio controls, brightness, mute. So you get full customization. It's not just for my editing work, it's just general kind of streamline my efficiency. So I'll be using this obviously throughout this whole workflow, but let's just dive on into the edit. All right, so I've been working on a couple of different presets. This is a new one that I've been working on, and we're just going to have a look and see what this looks like. So it's definitely too saturated for this and looks pretty cooked. This is the preset that I use on most of my edits, but I'm not a portrait photographer, and this scene was very, very high contrast. So we're going to have to do too much manipulation for this, and this is what I love about my presets is that there's a few and they're very diverse, but obviously not everyone is going to work for every scene. So we're going to switch over to Old Money, which is currently available in my preset pack. This one looks good. So I'm just going to use the creative dial pad here, and I have one of the keys set up to bring up this overlay, and then it just allows me to kind of cycle through options, and I don't even have to click. If I was to click on exposure or white balance, then it would just set on the white balance, but I can just hover and just use this dial to hone in, and it's so precise. That's what I love the most about it. It's much more precise than using a mouse because that's very dependent on the surface and your DPI, but this is just really precise just scrolling in. So I'm going to cool the photo down a little bit. Now this is the windows are completely, the highlights are gone, so I don't need to worry about trying to drop my highlights. I'm actually going to embrace this and lean into it a little bit more and raise my highlights just a tad. And then I'm going to bring the contrast down a little bit as well. Now, obviously, I was using the Hasselblad X2D, and these files are insanely versatile, just so much depth in them. You can manipulate them so much. I'm going to bring the contrast up a little bit more, actually, to about that. And I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out just from that preset. So I'm going to leave it there, and then I'm going to go ahead and copy settings with this keypad and just paste onto the next photo, because it's pretty much the same photo. He just has a little bit of a different stance, and it's got crop tool already on here and all of the preset crops that you could want. So I'm just going to keep it at 4:3 and just straighten this up just a little bit. And there we have it. Now let's go ahead and check this one out. Whoops, let's fit the photo. Okay, I mean this preset that I've used, Old Money, just seems to be working. So I'm just gonna stick with Old Money, I think, and then just make some kind of local adjustments here and bring the exposure up a little bit. Now, I'm not a portrait photographer, so I'm really out of my element. I was out of my element when I was shooting. I'm out of my element now when I'm editing. But, I mean, it's basically just a one and done. And I said my presets weren't one and done, but it's working here, so I'm happy with that. I'll just straighten this one out a little bit. I mean, Scott made it so easy. Like, he is a portrait photographer, so it just came so natural for him. to pose, and that's what I struggle the most. I started off doing weddings, fun fact, but I hated trying to pose people. So now I shoot landscapes and candid moments where I don't have to worry about posing people. Yeah, this is actually pretty. Yeah, this is great. I may actually try and bring the highlights down just a little bit. See what this does here. The Hasselblad files are insane. I'm at negative 100 on the highlights. It's probably a bit too much. Bring those up just a little bit. Negative 80, but the detail is just incredible. Yeah, that's so good. I think it's good. I don't know. If there's portrait photographers watching and you think it's trash, then I do apologize. But yeah, I mean, this one too. Like, there's really not much that I have to do. So let's just move on. Let's get away from the portraits. This is one photo that I took at Snake River Ranch. I just set up my hat. So let's go ahead and I'm actually going to crop this one to, I don't know, let's try it. No, let's do 16 by 9 here. Yeah, we'll do 16 by 9. That looks good. And then we'll try my new preset that I'm working on. So we got to tone down just a few things. So let's bring up the shadows actually. Yeah, and then I think we'll bring the blacks down just a little bit. Then we'll bring up the overall exposure. And then bring the whites down just a bit. Then I'm just going to take off that, bring some dehaze in there. So this photo was on the Leica M11, and I'm actually just going to clean up that spot right there. And then we have the barn. So this was the gray barn we were shooting at. And let's try old money on this one. That looks pretty decent. Now the biggest thing with this creative console is it does take a while to get used to. It took me a minute, and I was kind of resistant to it at first. You know, if you're like me and you've been editing photos on Lightroom for, I don't know, over 15 years, then you're very set in your ways, and it took me a while to just rely on my left hand using this whole, I mean, I could move it over to my right hand, but it just feels weird not using a mouse. But after putting that time in, everything just kind of clicked, and now it's just like super streamlined. So yeah, it definitely saves a ton, and it just makes editing a lot more enjoyable. I'm gonna bring the highlights down here just a little bit. Now I need a bit more contrast, and then we'll just do a little bit of exposure. And then I'm just going to fix the crop. And yeah, that looks good. All right. Well, there it is. Hopefully this video has been enjoyable, and maybe you learned something from my insight with my editing. Presets are available for purchase in the link down below. Definitely check out Logitech, obviously, in the link down below. Huge thank you for them for sponsoring this video. And of course, also linked in the description is Kyle, Scott's, and Dave's videos. Please go and check those out and support them. They are absolute legends. And this was all their idea. I'm actually just looking right now. I think there's a little animal, a little groundhog or something in this video, in this photo. Anyway, I got distracted by the groundhog. I apologize. Yeah, I lost my trail of thought completely. But if you like this video, let me know. Maybe I'll do some more. It was hard for me to do, and I was out of my element, but they encouraged me, and here we are. So hopefully it was enjoyable. Thanks for watching it, and I will see you in the next one.